Hello world! We are on another episode of Kris Korner, although I'm not necessarily Kit today, I am Christopher, and we're not even in a corner, so let's get started. Today's episode is all about coming out, and I've actually come out through one of my other YouTube videos about a year ago, and I'll include the link to that old video in the bio below. And in that video, I was at the time talking a lot about my bisexuality and then coming out as gender neutral and non-binary. And for those of you who have maybe a similar story to mine, the coming out process isn't just one coming out. I think that, a long time ago when the queer community was starting to become more accepted and heard about, it was just known that people would come out as gay or lesbian. And then we added trans to the mix, and now we're adding gender to the equation, and all these different labels. So you kind of open up one door out of the closet and realize that you're still in another closet, and you have to open that door and another one. And so it's quite a process, and I'm still learning so much about myself and who I am and how I identify. It's very interesting to look back at that old video of me coming out as non-binary and to see where I am today. It's quite the journey that we've been through. And when I say we, I mean that there is my own evolution in terms of understanding where I fit on the spectrum. Obviously, I dress within the spectrum of what society has deemed the gender norms to be. But also the people in my life have really been on a journey with me as well, and have had to learn to adapt to my the way I dress and my persona, and especially my pronouns. I go by they, them, their, even when I'm in a more masculine form or feminine form. I still prefer those pronouns because honestly, for me, it doesn't matter how I dress. I'm choosing to express myself in a certain way, yet I am still me. I still act the way I normally would, and I still have the same morals and values. Oh, we got a little furry friend here.
Leo, say hi. Hello. Leo also always gets mistaken as a boy, even though you're biologically a girl. Interesting. Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, there's so many paths and journeys and identifications now that it really is quite the process for people when they are coming out. I'm actually making this video today to come out as pansexual. And you'll note from my older video that I, again, talk about my bisexuality and non-binariness and all of that stuff. And I think I struggled for a bit having those two identifications together, not to say that they can't coexist, but as somebody who doesn't identify with either gender, yet my sexuality was attracted to either just a female or just a male, it was something that I had to wrap my mind around for a bit. And it's like really interesting to actually say the words, I'm pansexual. It reminds me of Ellen's coming out story. Ellen DeGeneres recently celebrated her 20th anniversary of her coming out episode on her TV show. And I remember watching the videos of her coming out on the show and talking about the consequences of that action, and now being as successful as she is, and being somebody who is a real queer icon, she reflects on the fact that even though at the time, 20 years ago, she knew that she was gay, saying it out loud was just this whole weight lifted from her shoulders, but also this burden as well. And I think that's the interesting thing about coming out. We still have to understand that for so many of us, it really is quite the process. And we are coming into our Pride Month here in Toronto, and it may catapult a lot of feelings for people to wish to come out themselves. And for those of you who are allies of the queer community, I urge you to please support those who are just starting to make their journey out of the closet. I'm here to tell you it is a beautiful journey, and it has its hardships, and we need all the help we can get when we are going through that process. Yeah. So with that said, happy Pride, everybody, and love one another. Thanks.